The cold North Atlantic wind whipped across the deck of the HMS Bulldog, stinging the faces of the crew as they hauled aboard their peculiar catch. It was not a German sailor, nor a valuable piece of equipment, but a sodden, grey mass of metal and wiring. A German U-boat's Enigma machine rested from the sinking U-110 along with its codebooks. In that moment, in May 1941, it felt like a miracle, a tangible key to the impenetrable cipher that had shrouded Nazi intentions in darkness. Yet, for the small, secret group of codebreakers working in a dreary Victorian mansion called Bletchley Park, this was but one dramatic chapter in a war of intellects that had been raging for years, a war fought not with bullets, but with mathematics, logic, and sheer human determination. The Enigma machine itself was a masterpiece of cryptographic engineering, a deceptively simple-looking typewriter in a wooden box. Its genius lay in its complexity. Pressing a key sent an electrical current through a set of rotating wheels, or rotors, each with 26 positions, and a plug board that swapped letters before and after the current's journey. The number of possible settings was astronomical, in the trillions. The Germans, with unwavering confidence, believed it to be unbreakable. Each day at midnight, the settings would change across the entire Nazi war machine, from U-boats in the Atlantic to panzer divisions in North Africa, rendering any partial progress from the previous day obsolete. To the Allied commanders, it was as if they were blindfolded, forced to react to devastating attacks they could not foresee. The fight against this black box began not in Britain, but in Poland. Years before the outbreak of war, Polish intelligence, acutely aware of the German threat, had assembled a team of brilliant mathematicians. Led by Marian Rejewski, they used theoretical mathematics, espionage, and a flaw in German operating procedures to reconstruct the wiring of the military Enigma and build primitive replicas. They even created a device called the Bombe to help sift through the daily settings. But in 1939, with the German invasion imminent and the Enigma security enhanced, the Poles made a decision that would change the course of the war. They shared their entire life's work, their replicas, bombas, and all their knowledge with their British and French allies in a secret meeting in a Polish forest. This act of incredible foresight and solidarity gave Bletchley Park its foundation. Bletchley Park, or Station X, became the unlikely nerve center of this intellectual crusade. It was a bizarre amalgamation of top-tier academic minds, classicists, linguists, and, most crucially, mathematicians plucked from universities and thrust into a world of intense secrecy. Among them was a young, eccentric Cambridge mathematician named Alan Turing. Disheveled, prone to stuttering, and often seen with his tie tied with a rope or his shirt collar undone, Turing's mind operated on a different plane. He saw the problem of Enigma not as a puzzle to be solved by linguists, but as a mechanical process to be defeated by a machine. Turing, building upon the Polish foundation, conceived of a more sophisticated and powerful version of the Bombe. His Bombe was an electromechanical behemoth, a whirring, clattering cabinet of rotating drums and tangled wires that stood over 6 feet tall. Its purpose was brute force logic, not brute force calculation. It worked by testing potential Enigma settings against a crib, a presumed piece of plaintext German that corresponded to the encrypted message, like a standard weather report or the formal opening "Hail Hitler." The bombs would spin through possibilities at a dizzying speed, eliminating thousands of incorrect settings until one of them stopped, signaling a potential match. The air in the bomb rooms was thick with the smell of oil, electricity, and the intense concentration of the wrens, the women of the Royal Navy who operated these complex machines with unwavering skill. Yet, the work was never straightforward. The German Navy's Enigma, used by the U-boat fleet that was strangling Britain's lifeline to America, was the most secure of all. It employed an extra rotor, making the bomb's task exponentially harder. The Battle of the Atlantic was being lost, with ships and their vital cargoes sent to the bottom by wolf packs guided by invisible Enigma signals. The breakthrough came from a combination of Turing's theoretical work, the capture of codebooks from weather ships and U-boats like U-110, and the analysis of German operator errors. A missed repetition, a lazy choice of settings, or a captured vessel could provide the crib needed to set the bombs to work. Slowly, painstakingly, the veil began to lift. The intelligence produced from this monumental effort was codenamed Ultra. To protect the source, the British government went to extraordinary lengths. They created elaborate cover stories for how they obtained information, often sending a reconnaissance plane over a target after they had already learned of it through Ultra, so the Germans would believe their own air defenses had been spotted. The weight of the secret was immense. Winston Churchill, upon reading decrypted Enigma messages, knew of impending devastation for cities like Coventry, yet had to make the agonizing decision to not act in a way that would reveal the Allies could read the German codes. The secret of Ultra was more valuable than a single city, more valuable than a fleet. It was the key to winning the war. As the war progressed, Ultra's influence became pervasive. In the North African desert, General Montgomery knew the precise disposition of Rommel's forces and, crucially, his crippling fuel shortages, allowing for the victory at El Alamein. Before the D-Day landings, an elaborate deception plan, Fortitude, was sold to the Germans through Enigma channels they believed were secure, convincing them the invasion would come at Calais, not Normandy. The German High Command was making its most secret plans in a room they did not know the Allies were listening in on. Every German order, every supply list, every situation report was being filtered through Bletchley Park, translated, and sent to commanders in the field. The legacy of the Codebreakers is immeasurable. It is estimated that their work shortened the war by 2 years, saving countless lives. Yet, for decades, their story remained one of the best-kept secrets of the war, the participants bound by the Official Secrets Act. Alan Turing, the architect of this victory, was not celebrated as a hero in his lifetime. A few years after the war, he was prosecuted for his homosexuality and subjected to chemical castration. He died in 1954 from cyanide poisoning in what was ruled a suicide. It was a tragic, shameful end for a man whose genius had done so much to preserve freedom. The full story of Bletchley Park only began to emerge in the 1970s, allowing the world to finally understand the silent, clandestine battle that had been waged in the quiet English countryside, a battle where the sharpest minds of a generation used logic and perseverance to crack the enigma and illuminate the dark secrets of the Third Reich, ultimately turning the tide of a world war.